abusia min chia na mo akwa ba so nkoso enfa we mra ye be media GH so abusia nansia na ete say ya dia OSP atumi detain eye Paul Adomotri ni na ne say enuma bi omo discover enuma bi nte say omo frɛ ye Paul Adomotri na che say obeyi no ho ano enso abusia mane bone nchemu eche say omo bo Paul Adomotri bia Paul Adomotri ya na adwen say ono onka nokre enfanche OSP na we na ade a Martin Kpebu private legal practitioner ababonten na che say nsem ode etudwa ne say ni Paul Adomotri yina no no na etwetwe ne ho na say ode ne ho kwa pese ode ne ho ekupie mu ewo ye nsawam na wa Paul Adomotri ye hu say properties bu wo ha ni na yehudin mu ya fro eno edi ho nkoma wo san gina ho edi ntro wo mum properties egu document ya Ukraine na no wodin na egu saa properties so nti enti na wo gyan yanim a wo din tro enti na wo sa ba ya chese wo se wonya MPP ni abusia na Martin Kpebu the letter dia ba about ochra Paul was attempting to mislead the OSP adokra amase say ye the Paul Adomotri the kwakugina court ni na ne say Martin Kpebu echiremu a Paul was attempting to mislead the OSP when he said he doesn't own any property. He has properties in his name. Paul, be better advised. He got himself into this trouble by trying to lie to the OSP. Into court, yes, he say, the Paul Adomotri, Bokako Jina Yina, Bokako Yino, then Yina, and say, Paul, Kwako Dintro, actually OSP. Meanwhile, OSP, ikura a document. Paul, Udin, a womb. Okura evidence inti se see pa Paul o pa kyeresen abusia na Martin Kpebu den sem ada abetu gya say wagina so atutu bi dia ma ye Paul Adomotri enya asem koto wasa aliki more info me no mie no ye pese yete edefa ye Paul Adomotri ho na abusia waliki ni na yenko na yenko koti ha ye be media GH se enen de di konitwe channel so a ye be so subscribe my bobo notification bell no so for more podcast update yenko ne koti nsem a Paul Adomotri di etodwa abra osia ye OSP ani bia OSP atwen nsem no akwa koduru asese Paul bekwa kupie mu owo ye court a enya nsem ketwa subscribe like na bo ahema for pensem bi eti no enya bi enti yenti nsem no mu nche mamra asese a yedase
with the point Paul Adomotri makes in that video that he put out earlier today, that he did not know about this contract. It is Manasseh Azere that brought his attention to the fact that the MD had actually signed this contract on December 4. And now he has been invited as well to answer questions on us. And I asked you this question, bearing in mind the limitations that we have discussing this, not talking about any sense of guilt or otherwise on this as the OSP is investigating.
The contract was brought to the board, etc. So now this U-turn that Paul is doing appears to be neither here nor there. But of course, in the court of law, so many other things can come up. So we cannot conclude here. But certainly from what is playing out so far in the public domain, Paul has an uphill task. He has shredded his own case even before, anything gets started in court.
And I want you to kindly reposition so we get a clear connection to you right now. But also, you talk about the fact that he's taking different positions and also taking into consideration what Manasseh Azere has just put out right now. He is consistently maintained, and I'm talking about Paul Adomotri, that this contract, he actually didn't even know the persons behind them. He hasn't met them before. Manasseh Azere says that's false. And then he also maintains that he got to know that this MD, the former MD, signed this contract on December 4 as well. Manasseh Azere is contesting that particular point as well. Counsel.
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Kansi. Absolutely. Nobody is saying for has committed a criminal conduct, a competent jurisdiction that can pronounce him guilty after hearing evidence from both sides. That's including him all himself. Yes, and for the 19 clause 2 of the Constitution 1992, which is at play, Correct. It's also within the rights of citizens to begin to take serious exception, okay, at the fact that even though the case hasn't gone to court, there is evidence in the public domain that Paul had sent Manasseh Awune Azuri text messages, right, to confirm that a night before the contract came to the board, Paul Adumotre met the owners of the company to whom he met them, Philly Gadochi. Sometimes let's use the local because the effect of communication. So it is too late in the day for Manasseh not aware of the contract. He cannot blow hot and cold. That is certainly not on. He cannot blow hot and cold. That is not on. That is certainly not on. Not in Ghana. We are too smart for that. He has expressly told Manasseh that he knew about the contract. He knew the owners of the contract, and he met the owners of the contract before the contract came to the board for approval. So it is too late. It's too late. He should go tell that to the Marines. Paul should tell that to the Marines, not to Ghanaians. We are smarter than that. Okay? And so that this matter we are discussing is not a matter before any court. It's not sub judice. We are talking about the fact that he's blowing hot and cold. Blowing hot and cold is not something that has been presented to a court. So we are not injuncted from discussing it. This is information that Manasseh has brought out. Manasseh has replied Paul publicly. And so we are free to discuss it, and we are free to begin to call out Paul.
And I make reference to that particular response by Manasseh Awune consistently because of some of the issues that he raises there. How do you see this case playing out in the coming days, taking into consideration what the special prosecutor himself or the statement from his office detailing the fact that as we speak now, Paul Adumotre says he doesn't have any landed property in his name of any value in Ghana, and as a result, those bail conditions have so far not been met as far as we do know. As of now, there are any updates, we'll definitely put it out to our viewers and waiting on the special prosecutor to give us those updates. But how do you see things playing out in the coming days?
Yeah, so special prosecutor, look, for the case, for Paul to have been invited, okay, it means that the special prosecutor has already finished with preliminary investigations. Yes, that is what the law governing the special prosecutor requires, that before inviting the person, the special prosecutor first has to conduct preliminary investigations to see if there is any need to call the person. The special prosecutor doesn't start his investigations by straight away calling the alleged suspect. No, the law says he should first conduct some investigations without the alleged suspect to see if there is any basis before he calls the alleged suspect. So for the special prosecutor to invite Paul Adumotre, it means that that basic threshold has already been cleared. This means that this is a serious case. It is no child's play. It is no child's play at all because the special prosecutor has already cleared one stage of preliminary investigations before calling in Paul. So that preliminary investigation will involve things like at least scrutinizing to see, was there a contract in the first place? Was that contract approved whilst Paul Adumotre was board chair, etc.? A whole number of things. So this is a very serious case. And let me repeat again, look, even if this case doesn't end up in court, the part where he's already blowing hot and cold, okay, approbating and reprobating is already in the public domain, and that side is finished.
Martin Kpebu, appreciate your time on this, and thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts on this matter as well and how things are playing out. We're keeping an eye on the special prosecutor's various avenues of updates on social media and our sources in there as well. If we get any updates on how things are unfolding, Airports Company Limited, Paul Adumotre, along with two others, are not spending, at least as far as we do know, as of now, they are not at home because they have been detained by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Paul Adumotre. is under investigation in connection with a revenue assurance contract between the Ghana Airports Company Limited and a private firm owned by the proprietor of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Bear that in mind, SML. That's a company that has been embroiled in previous instances with contentious matters as well. That is being investigated by the special prosecutor. And this specifically has to do with one of the 5 issues that the former finance minister, Kenneth Nanayo-Foriata, is being wanted by the special prosecutor. This same SML revenue assurance contract, and that was with in the oils sector. Now, take a look at this statement that the special prosecutor put out not too long ago. It bore the heading, Adomotri and 2 others detained over Ghana Airports Company Limited contract probe as he fails to meet bail conditions. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has interviewed and formally charged the board chair of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Paul Adomotri, and 2 others. However, Mr. Adomotri has so far been unable to meet his bail conditions. It goes on to say he is required to present 2 landed property of no specific value. And this also you should bear in mind, and we're just going to have a clear understanding of this, because the special prosecutor says, present 2 landed property of no specific value registered in his name. However, he has informed the OSP, that is, Paul Adomotri informed the OSP that he does not own a landed property in Ghana of any value. As a result, he remains in custody until bail terms are satisfied. The 2 other persons are Okyere Kwame Bafwewa, the Group Executive Commercial Services at the Ghana Airports Company Limited, and also Albert Ajete Ajay Lai, who is the CEO of DevNest Systems. Adomotri is under investigation in connection with a revenue assurance contract between the Ghana Airports Company Limited and a private firm owned by the proprietor of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. The OSP is examining possible procurement breaches. And take note of the wording of this particular statement by the OSP. They are examining possible procurement breaches, including a sole sourced contract awarded to a company other than the one approved by the Ghana Airports Company Limited board, which Paul Adomotri is or was the board chair. So that's the crux of the matter now, and the basis for what has been happening over the period with the invitation of the special prosecutor to Paul Adomotri. And he did indicate, in fact, he had publicized the time he was going to visit, or as it were, attend to the invitation of the special prosecutor. It's at 3 p.m. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan was stationed at the special prosecutor's office earlier today, right from 3 p.m. when he arrived at the office, as he had publicized, up until after 5 p.m. when darkness began to fall upon the offices of the special prosecutor. It led to what we're seeing now of he not being able to meet the bail conditions. Noble gave us this report as around 7 p.m. When the Office of Special Prosecutor was closed because the staff had finished work and packed out of the place. So it was clear indication that Paul Adomotri was not in the or at the premises of the special prosecutor as of the time that this report was done by Noble Crosby Annan. Take a look.
It's been quite an afternoon here at the office of the special prosecutor. That is the building where it all happened at. Paul Adomotri arrived here at the office of the special prosecutor at exactly 2:50 p.m. for the meeting that was scheduled for 3 p.m. Now, he was in the company of 2 of his lawyers. So 3 people entered through the main gate of the office of the special prosecutor and then walked into the reception where the media was not allowed beyond the main gate of the office of the special prosecutor. Paul Adomotri was if you like, escorted out, or he came out of the building at around 6:30 p.m. So we're talking about some close to 4 hours of interrogation. We understand the issues were quite a number, so it took quite some time. That is how come it was about close to 4 hours interrogation that happened at the office of the special prosecutor. When Paul Akyere entered, we didn't hear any word, we didn't hear any communication. He didn't engage with the media before he entered the building. The office of the special prosecutor and their representatives also did not speak with the media ahead of this close to 4 hour interrogation. So at around 6:30, we suspected that Paul Akyere was about to be escorted out of the building. Now, you can see the building of the office of the special prosecutor. We got to know that he was about to be escorted out because there are some openings or some windows on the building, and we saw that there was some peeping through of the window. Our thinking is that some officials were gauging the mood of the place to know whether journalists were still around. When they got to know the journalists were around, now what we suspect happened because of what we saw is that the vehicle Paul Akyere came in was moved in a certain way to allow him enter the vehicle without the media knowing that he was entering the vehicle. So in total, 3 vehicles drove out of the office of the special prosecutor at 6:30. What happened was the first vehicle was a police vehicle. Now, we don't know who was in the police vehicle, but it was using its sirens on top speed, and it drove out of the office of the special prosecutor. The second vehicle followed closely. Mind you, the second vehicle was the vehicle that Paul Akyere and his lawyers came with. So we saw that 2 of his lawyers sat in that second vehicle. We don't know whether Paul Akyere was in the vehicle before the 2 lawyers got to the vehicle or not. So that vehicle also followed the police vehicle that had earlier left the building. And following immediately was also another vehicle. Now, the thinking is that that vehicle belongs to the office of the special prosecutor. So 3 vehicles left the place. Now, it happened like that on the blind side of the media because around that time, that was when the police officers or the security officers stationed at the gate of the office of the special prosecutor, they began acting deviously. So they came at the media, trying to push the media away, sack the media. And that indicated the thinking, that indicated that, it was about to be transported from the office of the special prosecutor to wherever they have taken him to. At the moment, we don't know where Paul Akyere has been taken to. In one of the 3 vehicles that left the office of the special prosecutor, the thinking is he was in the first one. The second one was that of his lawyer.